And that's why they're thinking about doing an Uncharted 2. Uncharted 2. And, the first one was all right with Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg. It was all right. But overall, Indiana Jones ripoff to me. I mean, the games were great, but this just seems lackluster to me. In 2022, it came out. It went to theaters, went out to streaming. It made $400 million. Pretty big win for this, but still just at that breaking point where it just made money. So they were like, we're not really going to do this. But apparently it was the chairman of Sony Pictures, Tom Rothman, was saying that he wanted to do a trilogy, a franchise from the get-go, and he's still pushing that. Another producer came forward recently, and he was talking about Charles Roven. He said that, we have a really good time making this movie, and the fans seem to like it. We seem to like it. So, the game's very popular, so we're definitely going to look forward to moving forward with this and making this happen for a second one. Now, 6th highest grossing video game movie ever, so it's done pretty well. But, if it's just breaking even, it's one of those things we talked about. D&D the other day is coming forward for a sequel, even though that didn't make even its money back. So, why do you take a franchise that's barely making money and keep making stuff up? It doesn't make sense to me as a studio, as a business, but Tom Holland's hot, so maybe they just want to keep going, even though he said he's retiring soon. So, I don't know. What do you think about this? Sabrina, do you think this is good to do Uncharted 2, or do you think they should have just left this behind?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I could care fucking less, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I watched the first one because I was bored and had nothing better to fucking do, and I think I just was on in the background while I was doing stuff. It didn't really obviously hook me in. I enjoy Tom Holland, and I don't really have a problem with Mark Wahlberg. It just was it was meh for me, and I have a question. I thought Tom Holland was so spent after doing that crowded room situation that he was no longer going to be, he's going to take some time off from the acting world. I mean, to be fair, we're on strike, so we can't do anything. But I feel we're planning an Uncharted 2. He'll be like, I will do it, but I'm going to need 9 months from today because I said I was taking a year off before we can start filming. I don't know. I don't know at all. it is what it is. I guess they made $400 million. It's not bad. I mean, maybe it's a fucking win for them. I don't know. I don't like making video games into movies. They're video games. You play them. I don't want to you watch it on your Xbox or whatever the fuck you play these days. I don't know. I don't know. I don't need it.
Lots of good stuff.
A lot of them are very cinematic though too, which is kind of like especially Last of Us too.
Some of them are great.
Almost
Last of Us is really good, but that's the only one that I actually. I mean, aside from this Sonic and what I mean, stuff that's not realistic. You know what I mean? Obviously, Sonic the Hedgehog is not gonna catapult into our lives right now. However, I mean, not that The Last of Us is realistic. I'm sorry, let me dial that back. Not that it's realistic, but it's it's more
it could be
more drama. Okay, it's a drama instead of a comedy, right? And Uncharted is an action movie. They're all these different they're all these different things. We just watched Twisted Metal, which is based on a video game. It's just I don't know. It's some things I feel should be left where they belong, where they came from.
Yes.
A lot of unoriginal ideas. No one has anything new, and so they just now everyone's The Last of Us did really fucking good. Let's roll into making every video game ever a fucking movie.
Make it a movie. Do it now. Rachel, are you in the same board there? You think that they shouldn't be making this? Too many video game things? Or are you all about? Do you like Uncharted?
I like Ty's comment. He's so hot right now.
It's so hot.
That Holland is so hot right now.
I didn't see the movie. It didn't seem worth watching.
It wasn't.
So I didn't give a shit. I think that instead of making a sequel to a failed action adventure video game movie, just make an original action adventure franchise.
Oh my god, that's the best idea anybody could know.
An original,
Somebody
Rachel.
hire me right now.
Nobody does that, Rachel. That's unheard of.
Every single show, someone says exactly that at some fucking point. Because it's all that they do. It's all they do. Right. It's ridiculous. And it's such good advice. I just wish someone would take it.
No one's going to take that advice, though.
So weird.
Unfortunately.
It's going to happen. I think the studio is just we need something to talk about besides the strike. Because there's no writers, there's no actors. They're just sitting there being oh, we're going to make this movie with who?
Conceptualizing. Let's make a movie about McDonald's. Making a movie about Ronald McDonald and how he became a clown forever to make hot
I'd rather watch
for the
that.
children.
I would rather watch that.
He's going to murder people.
Get a fucking idea of your own. Jesus.
It's Ronald McDonald murdering people and making hamburgers. That's what they're gonna do.
By the way,
Now that's a movie.
Rachel, you have a job offer.
That's
You have a job offer. It's perfect timing. Thank you, Sai.
Yeah, thank you, Sai.
Sorry.
Spencer, what do you think? Like you were saying, like a little bit, but did you see Uncharted? Do you think this is a good idea to make a sequel to Uncharted? Did you like it?
I unfortunately play video games, so I don't know. My take on this whole thing is a little weird, but there are some concepts I think that definitely, if there's a good story to it, I think regardless of how you whatever platform you use it on, it'll be a good movie or a good TV show or a good game. But Uncharted was none of those things, unfortunately, I think. So, the game was fun originally because of like climbing and like puzzles and things like that.
It's like
and that's not
situation.
Yeah, it was very much of a Tomb Raider.
Did you say climbing and puzzles?
Yeah,
that is what video games are.
And puzzles
and jumping.
That is exactly what video game. Yeah.
By puzzle, it's more
so many video games. Move this block onto this thing, and then a pressure slot, and then,
okay.
And it's like, I'm so smart for solving this.
I was thinking like climbing on top of a mountain and then like playing Sudoku. Like I don't know. I was just a little confused.
Not quite. But no.
This is why Sabrina's not a game dev.
I did get all 64 levels in Mario 64, and I used to kick the shit out of my brother in wrestling, and that's the only two games I ever really played.
Great games.
So yeah,
great games.
Well, then you go to like WWE. Could you make a good movie out of that? Or SmackDown versus Raw. That was one of the best wrestling video games I ever played. So
great game. Yeah, great game. They made some great games. They do. They have fun with it. And then bringing back all the old wrestlers and stuff.
Couldn't possibly tell you what game it was, but I know that I was Rey Mysterio Jr. every time. He was like little and agile and could do flips and shit. And I used to just whoop everybody's ass all the time. I'd hit all the buttons, and my brother was like, I would have the high score, and he would play for weeks to try to get me off the leaderboard, but he could never do it. And he was like, it's not fair. You don't even know how to play. You just hit all the buttons. And I was like, whatever, motherfucker. I'm kicking your ass.
That is infuriating.
Yeah, I'm sure it is to someone who actually plays video games.
No, it's fine.
What's up, Paniko way? Well, Sabrina loves this. She loves video games, I should say. She doesn't love Uncharted. And I honestly think, Spencer, you're right. Like, they didn't have a great concept for Uncharted as it was. I think they're just trying to, Sony is just trying to throw shit at the wall and see if it sticks. And something like this, they're like, we get Tom Holland involved. Tom Holland really wanted to do this part, so I think that helped make this movie go forward. As Ty said before, that Tom Holland is so hot right now. Yeah. And so, you have him attached. You have Marky Mark, and we're like, hey, I'm going to go talk to Tom Holland,
Who's attached?
Hey, how's it going, Tom Holland?
Say hello to your mother for me.
Right? So, he gets in there, and they're like, it's a movie. It's a fucking...